I think people with all of the best intentions in the world, if they don't feel comfortable enough to put that intent into action, they're going to end up stuck one way or the other. So I think there's some really easy, quick wins that dealerships, organizations, people across the board that manage people at all can take a look at. Number one, talk to your people, right? Make a phone call. Talk to your Black employees. Be like, hey, I know there's a lot of like wild stuff going on right now. Can we just take a minute to figure out if there's anything we could be doing to better accommodate you and all of the stuff that you lived through that we never knew of? It was never a point of emphasis, was never on our radar. Now we know it's everywhere. Are we doing everything that we can as an organization to support the people that we invest in? That's an easy conversation. It requires no dollars whatsoever. And immediately, by the feedback that you will be getting from the people that you are talking to that have this lived experience, your opinion on the subject will begin to change. It is unbelievable the kind of pressure and constant stress that Black people and marginalized people across the board are constantly under. And I feel like one of the core responsibilities of leadership is to manage your people. Make sure that the place that they come and spend most of the time in their lives every day is a place where they can bring their full selves to work. Besides that, I think easy things like take a look at your website. Right? If there's not a single Black person in any of the web pages you got, in the About Us page, and in any of the visuals that you're using to represent your dealership, there's probably a real easy fix for that. Same thing for your marketing collateral. How are you presenting your dealership? Is it an accurate representation of the community that you serve? I think those are super easy, super straightforward, low-hanging fruit opportunities for people to put together. There's certainly some more like tangible things, or I think some more advanced things that you could do. Start to build out resource groups, right? Talk to people, get people organized. Hey, this is something that we want to have dedicated focus and attention to. Make an action item on your agenda. When you're meeting with your leadership team, have that conversation. You're surrounded by great thought leaders. You're telling me there's nobody in the room that has any ideas about how they can start to make their workplace a more inclusive and welcoming place? I don't think that's the case, right? So I think there's some super low-hanging fruit that can be done. And certainly with some of the programming that we're doing, we're looking to bring considerably more structure to it as well. So some things that are more tangible. But ultimately for us, we want to make the lift and the ask that we put on the industry as easy as possible. We'll do the work. You just got to say yes to being on board and part of it. So I think there's some, those three things are things that you can do that cost you absolutely no money to your dealership, to your organization, or anything like that. Have a conversation, talk to your people, actually care. Number two, take a look at your website. Make sure it's an accurate representation of the customer base that you serve. Number three, if you want to start to organize your people, be surprised by the passion that people carry to do the right thing. One person putting their hands up immediately starts a domino effect around the room, around the organization. We're seeing it. We're living it right now. Again, those are things that cost you no dollars that you can bring to the table today that will fundamentally start to change the culture, which is a huge word we keep going back to, culture, culture, culture. Those are things today that you can start to do that will fundamentally shift your culture and start to create a more equitable, more inclusive work culture for all of your employees.